Hello all, welcome to the video. In this video, we are going to learn about operating over different sheets, pasting data from one sheet to another sheet. Also, we'll see pasting or copying data from one workbook to another workbook in a single code. In previous session, we have seen writing data, we have seen different functions like sheet function, range function, then we have also seen workbooks function. So we'll try to utilize these functions to do these operations. So the topics to be covered, as I said, we'll see how to enter, edit, copy data from the same sheets and with across different sheets as well. We'll try opening a new workbook, which we did in the previous session as well. But this time we'll open a new workbook and we'll try to copy the data from one workbook to another workbook as well. And yeah, like enter, edit, copy data across different workbooks. So this is a content for this particular session. So without wasting time, let's get back to the sheet. So I'm using the same sheet. So again, we'll be attaching these sheets, these training material with the video in the link given below. So let me open up the editor, code editor. So you can see this is the same code which we have used in the previous session. Let me write a new subroutine. I'll say session 5. Okay, so last time we have seen writing a code, writing a data in a single cell and fetching the details from it. So we'll do the same thing. I'm just copying the data from here. We'll just try to replicate the same thing before we start. I'm pressing F8, 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 F8. So yeah, you can see here, if you hover over this particular X, it says in A1, we have this value as home car. Like if I come back to the sheet, yeah, this one, you can see A1 and 2,3, which is cells. So we have the data. So this is how we write the data in a single sheet or within the same sheet. If we wish to write across different sheets, or if we wish to copy across different sheets, what we can do is again the same things, sheets function. If we wish to copy in the sheet 2 function, just copy the sheet name, come back to the editor, sheet2 dot range, say I wish to copy it to say D1, and then dot value is equals to, say I'll copy the same thing, this one. Okay, cool. Similarly, you can use the same cells function as well. I'll use it for the third sheet now. Sheets, sheet 3 dot range. On the third sheet, I'll use A1 dot value is equals to, I'll use this particular thing. Cool. So what this line is doing is it is copying the data from A1 range from VBA sessions sheet, and it is pasting in D1 range of sheet 2. And this particular thing is doing copying a data from 2,3, which is C3, C2, and pasting it in A1 of sheet 3. So let's debug it. The code have been executed. Like if I come over sheet 2, you can see D1, it has data, and in sheet 3's A1, we have this data. So this is about copying a single range. Say if we have a single cell, if say consider if we have a range, let me, okay. So we have this A1 to A10. So these 10 cells, if we wish to copy the range, how can we do that? So for that particular thing, I'll just come here. So say I wish to copy it to sheets. Okay, so for copying string, Or for copying a range, we have different options. Like you can give a range directly in the range function from A1 to from from A1 to A10, or you can use the cells function where you can give the range as 1 comma 1 to 10 comma 1, or you can select this particular range using dot select method, and you can copy it and paste it wherever you want. So we'll see that select method as well, as the last option over here. So we'll first see the range method, which is range A1 to A10. So say, let's see, I'll start with the sheet 2 dot range. I would say G1 to G10 dot value is equals to sheets VBA session dot range A1 to A10 dot value. So let's execute this once. I'm pressing F5, F8. So as I said, F8 is to debug and F5 is to run. So I'll just run this because we have seen this code, we have debugged this code multiple times. So what this will do is, this will copy this data over here. So this is how you do, this is how you use the range method to copy a selected range. The second method for copying the range is, I'll just type in some. Okay, one more important thing. If you just type one colon over here, or what you say, a single quote, that means you are commenting that particular line. If you could just see, if I'm just pressing a single quote in front of that line becomes green. That means that that's a comment. So if you wish to enter any comments, just put a single quote. So it is copying range using dot range method. Next is copying a range using dot cells method. So here we'll use, say, we'll use the same thing. Instead of G, we'll use something else. Let's use the third sheet. I'll use A1. So you can use, you can give a two-dimensional thing as well. Like it is just single range in A column. You can have multiple range, like selecting starting from A1 to ending at something D or Z or anything else. So it's totally up to you. Then I'll have the same range. Okay, before that, I'll have sheets. It starts with VBA session dot. So now here we wish to use the cells method. So here we'll use range, and inside it we'll use cells. It starts with row index as 1 comma 1 and comma cells, it has 10 comma 1 dot value. So that's how you do it. So this means A1 to A10. So we'll try to debug this as well. This has executed. So if you come over here, let me just delete it once and show you again. I'm deleting the content. I'm pressing F5. We'll run it. Uh-oh. There's something. Okay. There's no data over here. That's why it is appearing like that. That's not a problem. So this is how you do it. Like you you can copy data from one range to another range, like this. So this is one thing. Next is copying data from a single workbook to another workbook. So for that we need the next workbook to open up. Let me just comment out these things because this is The execution of same code doesn't make a sense. So what we'll do is we'll have to copy this particular range and paste it into a different workbook. So how do we do it is, before that, okay, so what we are doing is we are doing these operations, these few previous operations, and then okay, then we are set opening up a new workbook. But before opening a workbook, make sure you are having a variable for your existing workbook, because once you open a new workbook, your execution cursor will be on this new workbook, so you won't be able to get back to the to this work, this new Microsoft Excel worksheet on which we are working. You won't be able to get back to this worksheet unless and until you are closing this workbook. So make sure you are creating a new variable through which you can point the executing cursor for to this particular workbook. So what I written is I have set a variable saying WB equals to this workbook, which means this WB is now pointing to this new Microsoft Excel worksheet.xlsm, and this copy.xlsm will be this workbook will be pointed by WB1. So yeah, okay. Post that, what we want to do is in WB1 in sheets. Oh, in WB1 in sheets, sheet one dot range. We can have A1 to A10 dot value is equals to, okay, and we want to, so this is the range where we wish to paste it, and from where we want to copy is WB dot sheets. So make sure you are giving the sheet name correct, otherwise you'll get an error saying the subscript out of range, because that sheet name, the code was not able to find that particular sheet in the existing workbook. So that's why. And then range, I'm having A1 to A10, and I'm having dot value. So that's how we have. So let's execute it one by one, line by line. Make sure that this particular, okay, okay. You can see this WB is now pointing to this particular current workbook. We have a new workbook open up, this copy.xlsm. You can see there is only one sheet, and there's no data over here. And you can see here, we have this data. Okay. So what we can do is, okay, one more important thing in VBA, you can move the execution cursor up and down wherever you want it. If you wish to execute execute the same line again, you can just drag this particular execution pointer up, and that line can be executed again. So what we want to do is here, after pasting the data, we want to save the new worksheet which we have opened up, this WB1, and we want to close it. So what we will do is WB1 dot save and WB1 dot close. That's all we want to do. So I'll not open it up again. I can copy it again. I'll save it. Yeah, you can see this particular warning message. You can see this workbook have been saved. I'll just show you that location. See, this have been saved recently. Then the next is, and this have been closed. So this is how you do it. I can again execute it, like press F8 and press F5 to execute the entire subroutine. It will open up. It will, okay, so this alerts, you can handle these alerts. I will see how to handle these alerts in the upcoming sessions. So this is what it does is it is opening up a new, this particular workbook. It is pasting the data, it is saving again, and it is closing that workbook. So this is how you copy data from one workbook to another workbook. There's another method which I've said that you can copy for using selection method. So how do we do that is, so we say wb dot sheets. Okay, I'm having this particular range. So what I will do is, so this is the range which I want to copy, and I'll say select. So what we are doing with this particular thing is, we are selecting this particular range like this. Okay. The next line I'm going to write is selection dot copy, which means I'm just pressing Control C. So this is what it means. So what I did is, we have selected the range and we have said selection dot copy. Then we have to give the paste location from which we want to paste it. So say what we will do is, we'll paste it in the new workbook itself, wb1 dot say sheets. It has only one sheet. Sheet 1 dot range, say d2 dot activate. So what it means is, in this particular workbook, it'll open up this particular sheet. In this sheet on D2, it take this particular cursor. So in on D2, it will take this cursor, and at the end we'll say active sheet dot paste. So before that, we'll just activate the sheet after opening up dot activate. So again, I'll explain you once again what we did. Let me just open up this workbook once. So what we are doing is, we are selecting this particular range like this. Then we are copying selection.copy. Then we came to this particular workbook, and on this workbook we said that this sheet1 dot activate. Post that we said d1 dot activate. Sorry, d2 cell dot activate, and then we'll say control V. So this is how we wanted to do it now. We'll see if this code works. I'm pressing F8. Oh, yeah, because this particular, you can see there's another workbook open up now, and the cursor is on this particular worksheet. That's why it is not allowing me to execute this line, because this sheet's VBA session sheet is not active at the moment. So let me just close this particular workbook. I don't want to save it. And let me click over this particular workbook or this particular worksheet. And now it will allow me. Okay, so this is done. So what it is doing is, it is opening a new Excel. It has copied the first range. You can see that range is there. Then there is a select method. Okay, my bad. We'll have to write the active sheet line. Okay, cool. So what it means is, you can see this range has been selected. Let me show you again. Right now you can see the cursor. We just have selected C2 cell. If we execute this particular line again, I'm just putting up a cursor up. You can see it has selected a range, then a selection.copy. You can see this particular range has been copied. Then a new worksheet. This in the next worksheet. Now the cursor is over here, and we are saying d2 dot activate. You can see the cursor have been pointed over here. Let me just show you again. Now we are at P6. If I execute this line again, this d2 dot activate, the cursor will move out to d2, and we say active sheet dot paste. And that's how the execution have been, the selection have been pasted. That's how you use this particular selection property Okay, cool, cool, cool. So that's how you use this selection property to copy a particular range using this selection.copy and activesheet.paste. So when do we use? So again, like these three things. Let me put a comment again. Copying a range using dot select method. So you might have got a question like these three things do the same thing, like a range, even if we are having a cells or a select method. So what's the difference? Why do we have these three methods, and when can we use it? So first thing, straightforward. So we just have this particular line where it's a straightforward copy function. We have a selected range. We can get that range and we can copy it and we can paste it in another range. Then we can use this range straightforward method. Next is whenever we are iterating over any loops. So loops will be covering those loops, for loops, while loops. So don't worry about it now. If you're not known, or if you're not familiar with any of the loops, just keep in mind, if you are using, or if you are iterating over any of the loops, you can use this particular uh, copy function. And if you have a long set of data, or if you have a filtered data, then you can use the select method. So that's why we have these three methods. Mm, okay, before closing the topic, let me execute it once again and show you. You can see I just have pressed F8 and F5, and that's how you do it. So that's all we have for this particular session. In the next topic, we'll see clearing the contents. So in this particular topic, you could have seen we have so much of data. We had to do it. We had to go there and delete that particular data before starting with the before executing it again. So in next topic, we'll see how to clear a content before starting, or how to clear a content in code using the code. So that's all we have for this particular session. So thank you all.